What's up, everybody? My name is Mokonoiz and I'm coming at you today with a stealth build video. I've been asked a lot, what's my build for stealth? What loadout do I use? So I decided to make a video to explain my loadout. That way I could explain what skills do I use and for what reason. So here we go. I tried to make it as short as possible. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna start with the important skills, or what I deem as important, and then I'll get into the optional ones. So here we go. Let's start from the top. First, Infiltrator. As you'll come to realize, we depend on Rush a lot because it helps trigger other skills, and you'll see it as we get through the tree. Basic Infiltrator will allow you to get Rush whenever you lockpick. It'll gain Rush and refresh Rush. That's very important. And when you ace it, every time a guard detects you, you get Rush. So like I said, this build relies a lot on getting Rush, so these two are very important. 2 skill points go to Infiltrator. Next, you want to get Quick Fingers. Now, Quick Fingers, whenever you have Rush, you'll instantly pick the lock when you hit the skill check. That's going to speed up your lock picking a lot, especially when you're in situations where you're in the open and you're trying to get into a room. It's very, very useful, and I highly recommend it. Moving on to the next tree, the Grifter. You only need 1 point in Grifter, and it's basically whenever you get close to a civilian, you get the Rush effect. I'm sure you've noticed there's a lot of civilians in Payday 3, so might as well make use of them. Next is Walk the Walk. This is a very useful skill, as whenever you have Rush, the cameras do not detect you in private areas. They'll still detect you in secure areas, but not private areas. So you can just run around in private areas with no problems. However, be careful. Performing illegal activities in front of cameras will get you arrested. They may not detect you, but they can still report illegal activities. Next is Social Engineering. Another really good skill. As we've mentioned before, there's so many civilians in Payday 3, so having Social Engineering is very helpful. What it does is, as long as you have Rush, employees will ignore you doing illegal activities. This can come in handy in a lot of places. For example, Dirty Ice. There's so many civilians in the showroom. All you gotta do, get Rush, boom, start stealing. Coming up next is the Hacker. Another really good tree. I like to ace this, not for the effect. As you see there, it says you gain 1 additional runtime. So the basic gives you 1 runtime, and the ace version gives you 2. That means you can loop 2 cameras. A lot of places have a collection of cameras, so being able to loop 2 cameras can be very handy. Next is the Secure Loop. What it does is it loops the cameras for you. That means it does not detect you. You may say, well, I have Rush, so I'm invisible to cameras. But what if the cameras are looking at an area where you're trying to do some illegal activities? Bam, Secure Loop got you. Hack that camera, loop it, and you're good. And I know in Overkill, sometimes you get the modifier that makes the Titan camera only loop for 5 seconds. It'd still be handy. A lot of other heists, you'll have a lead guard and Titan cameras. That is all. For example, again, Dirty Ice, the cameras can be looped indefinitely. Moving down the tree, Glitch Protocol. I cannot tell you how amazing this talent is. It is so good for stealth because it's not only good for distraction, where you can just distract the guard and like shimmy past him or like stop him to pick up an item that he has. When a guard spots you or a camera spots you and a guard's coming to escort you, so when the escorting happens, you can just hack him and run off. He'll totally forget about you. As you can see, it says here, if the guard was escorting a player, the guard will go back to patrolling. However, if you were about to get detained, meaning spotted in a secure area or spotted doing illegal activities, they're going to get into search mode. So still useful. So that was it for the important ones. Now let's move to the optional ones. Personally, I like having Strategist because it allows you to mark not 1, not 2, but 3, if aced, of course. And it makes your mark last 40% longer. It's not necessary, but it's nice to be able to keep an eye on the guards, right? You may have an area with like 3-4 guards, just bam, mark them all. Very good skill to have. Again, not very important, but very useful. Next is Swift. It increases your base sprint speed with a mask on by 10%. So it does not work for unmasked, it only works for masked. Again, not an important skill, but it's nice to have because some heists you're forced to mask even if you're stealthing, so being able to get that extra speed is really nice. Again, another one that I like as well is the Escapist. Whenever you sprint for at least 3 seconds, you gain Rush. So again, some heists you have to mess up. So this with Swift, you're a speedy boy. You be zooming. You're fast as fudge boy. So, you know, who does not like speed? So that was it for the skills. Now let's move on to the gadget. I personally like to use the motion sensor. It comes in very handy because all you got to do is throw it on the guard and the guard's going to be marked forever. You don't need to put it on a wall, just throw it on the guard. I had it last the entire heist, so it's a favorite of mine, especially when there's a lead guard. I just throw it on him. Having that gives you a peace of mind because you can keep an eye on him. And that concludes the stealth build video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I tried to make it as short as possible, you know, as informative as possible. Didn't want to add unnecessary details. If you like what you see, please make sure to subscribe, as I'm going to be releasing tutorial videos for how to stealth overkill heists solo. If you're interested, hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. And as I always like to say, stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay awesome. Peace.